everybody along the way here. I'm back with another video, part 2 of my Learning the Hard Way series. And this video is titled 10 Signs He's a Player, Learning the Hard Way over here. So gather up, everybody, get around the fire. We're going to talk today. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of humor in this, but it's a very serious conversation. It's about players. Now, these aren't just your regular run-of-the-mill men. These are shapeshifters. These are slick talkers. They have no desire for commitment. They really in. It's just the way they are. But it could be very damaging to you. So I've been in the trenches. I've been there. And I have come back with some notes. So I'm going to give you 10 signs that you're dealing with a player. So number 1, he has lots of women friends. And I'm talking lots. And from all ages. They could be 25. They could be 95. They're all his friends. Yes, all of his friends. He could pick them up. He could have picked them up at the college campus. Or maybe he picked them up at the local nursing home. And just a little side note here, it doesn't have to be a local nursing home. He will drive. And let me emphasize, no age is off limits. So no matter how old your guy is, no matter how old the chick is, put him on your radar. Also, beware of the best friend title. Yeah, you know the guy. And there is, of course, there is an exception to every rule. But that exception is very thin when it comes to this sign. So if they say they're best friends, they're hanging out, they're spending the night together, and I don't care how old the best friend is, be wary. Because there's something else going on there. Especially if his best friend is providing some kind of benefit that you know of. And there's also, of course, the benefits that you'd have to get a private investigator involved to figure that out. If it gets that far, just back her off, okay? This sign is very important. If he constantly is talking, about his best friends, his women friends, no matter the label, this is a sign that he's a player, a major sign. So, it's sometimes we don't want to see the truth about these things, and we try to, explain it away. Maybe even if you confront the best friend, they won't blow his cover. I don't know why. I've experienced this in the past. I don't know why they don't. Maybe if they're older or something, they're afraid to lose their young strapping buck or something. I don't know, but they will cover. Maybe they feel like they can't find somebody else. I'm not for sure why they do that, but that is a thing that will happen as well. But be very, very cautious when it comes to a man with lots of women friends. Also, if he talks to you about how unattractive his female friends are, and he puts them down or talks about why he doesn't want to be with them, that he's trying to throw you off there. Because I'm telling you, there's always something there. And maybe if something hasn't developed, like I said, you'll never know. If he's spending the night with these friends of his, just friends, best friends, female friends, if they're female and he's spending the night, that is a major red flag sign, because the flags are flying in the air, ladies. Like, if this is happening, I don't care if the chick needs a walker to get around. I don't care. Like, this is a red sign, especially if they have a lot of money. Young, old, money. If money's involved and they're spending the night, pay attention. That's signaling player loud and clear. That means he's playing in the hen house and he's out to get all the eggs he can. He's in the hen house and he's getting all the eggs. He wants all the eggs. Sorry to put it that way, but it's true. He's a player. it's highly likely, let's say that, because there is always the exception, but it's highly likely that he's a player. But this sign is the biggest sign to me, so pay attention to that. Okay, so number 2, he talks about women constantly. Like there's always some kind of woman in the conversation. It could be an ex, it could be a friend down the street, the neighbor. It's almost always women, hardly ever men will he talk about. And these, of course, are always his friends or his neighbors or his old co-worker. It could be about the lady he met at the antique store yesterday. Anything. Or you could be like talking about something personal, I bought something really cool. Oh, Sally Sue down at the market. Always. I mean, even if it's somebody he doesn't really know, there's always some kind of woman that he's talking about because he's got his attention all over the place. He might be thinking about that woman at the antique store, or he has so many girlfriends that his mind is literally all over the place and scattered emotionally. So he's always has other women on the mind. Maybe he needs some kind of therapy because he has too many women around. I don't know what the man may need, but I'm telling you to help you out that he is probably a player. Talking about him all the time increases that chance that he's a player. Now, of course, as always, we do have many traits that we all exhibit. We all have our past, and maybe they're not over their ex, or maybe they're not over their ex-girlfriend. But if it's multiple women, then there's something going on there. So be sure to pay attention to that. That's number 2. Okay, so number 3, inconsistent communication. Inconsistent. If one day you're texting each other all day long, or maybe you're on a phone call, maybe it'll be a few days in a row. You're talking nonstop. Maybe one day you talked 8 hours, and then the next day, bam, gone. You're a ghost. He's a ghost, and you don't know what happened to him. You message him, and nothing. That's it. So you're like, oh, what happened? It's that push and pull thing, and it might actually make you like him more. I don't know if that's a human nature thing. I'm not a psychologist, but I'm telling you, like, it can make you think more about him. Maybe, I don't know if these guys, like, if they read books about this stuff or it comes naturally, but it's very common, I have found, and all over the place. But it's that push and pull and ghosting. So you might not hear from him for a long while, and all of a sudden, one day, you get 20 new text messages. He's naked on his best friend's bed and new furniture, taking pictures in her house or their house. Maybe they bought the house together. You never know. You don't know what's going on with these people. But it's inconsistent communication. They'll just pick up like nothing ever happened. I mean, I've had it where, 5 months, 4 or 5 months, and then all of a sudden you just get these naked pictures out of the blue. That's a player. Maybe they were so busy they forget that they haven't talked to you in a while, or maybe they just sent it to the wrong number. They have so many coals in the fire, they don't know what's going on. The inconsistent communication is a big red flag of a player. Major. Also, his availability changes with the wind. One day or 1 week, you're hanging out on the weekend, or you're talking on the weekend, and the next, he's not available. He doesn't pick up his phone, or maybe he only calls you during certain hours. There's random things that they can do. Let's say between 9 and 5, they're talking to you. And then at night, you don't hear anything. You don't get a text, nothing. On the weekends, he disappears. I mean, that is very inconsistent and very, like it's a work schedule almost. Like maybe his other women or prospects are working during those hours, and maybe your hours are different. Maybe you're self-employed, or maybe you work second shift and they work with you. I'm not sure how this happens, but it can be inconsistent in those ways too. Or maybe, he only talks to you on the weekends, and you find out that the other women that he's friends with, that they work on the weekends. I mean, pay attention to that. Pay attention to when he talks to you and why. I mean, maybe he works or something and that's the reason why. But find out why that he's inconsistent in his communication and examine that for player behavior, because you want to root out the players, because I'm telling you, it does not end well for you. It's a game and you ain't going to win. I'm telling you, you ain't going to win. But if you know the signs, and I'm trying to help you out here, if you know the signs, I'm trying to help myself out too, because when I'm approached with this, I can watch this later. So, and plus it just helps me talk about it so much, just, I mean, because they can really hurt people. And you have these people out here doing this as sport and almost like it's a living to them, and they could just crush you and step on you and treat you like you're nothing and just move right along. Next, please, So I just really want to help people and let them know. And this is why I have this Learning the Hard Way series. For myself mainly, because we all are human and we all are self-centered, but also for other people as well. Moving on to the next one. Oh, and also before we move on to the next one, I just want to say something about ghosting. Apparently, ghosting is a big thing this day and age, and people don't want to deal with other people's feelings, or they just, I don't know why they do it. I mean, horrible. It's a cruel practice. I mean, even to just do it to your friends or anybody. And I've been guilty of it. I have. And when I've learned how damaging it can be, I try not to do that to anybody or anything. I let my feelings be known right up front. And if someone ghosts you, especially somebody on a romantic level, do not talk to them anymore. Just keep going. I mean, it's a very cruel practice. Now, if you went on like 1 or 2 dates and then, the guy doesn't call you back or something like that, no. But if you're like talking to somebody and it's consistent and it's months, or maybe if it's even a few years, it's very damaging, and just move right on. If they don't address, maybe they don't like how the conversation went or something like that, but to just not to respond, it's very cruel, and that's something that you really need to look out for. If they're going to do that to you early on, it's highly, you could tell a person by their character early on. You just see how they handle things, see how they handle other people, see how they talk about other people and how they treat you. It's very, very important to do that if you want to be happy in the future with their prospects. All right, so now moving on. So number 4, he only wants to hang out on his terms. That can mean he only goes to your house or you only go to his house. Everything is centered around him. It's always what he says. Or maybe you hang out and you're always hanging out with one of his friends. Maybe he has you come in through the back door. Like, oh, you can come over, but you have to come in through the back door. And there could be a reason for that. There could be. But also, if that reason of those kind of odd behaviors is tied to a woman, it's a big sign that he's a player. So if he only wants to hang out on his terms, that is a red flag. Like I said, maybe he won't hang out with you unless one of his friends are involved, or friends. Maybe he won't ever take you to dinner unless his friends there, or maybe he has his friends cook you dinner, or maybe he takes you to Aldi and you split a bag of lettuce and a bottle of generic ranch. Those are all on his terms. Even if you want to go out, even if you offer to pay and he doesn't want to go out in public, there's something going on there. Especially, goes back to these other women, especially if his friends are tagging along, or if his friends are always calling while you're there and they know you're there. There is something going on. It's highly likely that he is a player. So girl, put your shoes on and run out that door. When they break out the Aldi lettuce, you know something's up. Something is up, especially if they're keeping you in the house and and you're not out there, something's up. It's probably a player, and you need to reevaluate this situationship you've got going on. Or, as I think about it, maybe the only time you go out is at his friend's house, and maybe she's always cooking you dinner. That is a red flag. A lot of people in this world that don't have good intentions. And even if you pick somebody like, let's say, a seashell collector or something like that, and you think, oh, they couldn't possibly be something like that. Well, don't get your hopes up. Don't get deceived, because it can happen. You just think is the nicest guy in the world, and he would never do something like that, and they will. So that's why you have to not just pay attention to what they're saying. Of course, pay attention to what they're saying, but pay attention to their actions, because actions speak louder than words. Let's say it again. Actions speak louder than words. Actions tell you everything, because people will talk all day long, but their actions will say something else. So pay attention to that, so you can see if you have a player on your hands. That way you won't be wasting your life, you won't be wasting your time, and you might save yourself some heartache. Because heartache, it sucks. It really does. It really hurts when somebody hurts you in that sort of way. It can affect your self-esteem. It can affect your, how you feel about the world. It can stop you from moving on, because you're thinking, your self-worth is kind of been damaged a little bit, but it's not, because the way other people treat you, it's not about your self-worth. It really is about them. A leopard does not change their spots. I learned that early on too. That's what my mom used to say. All right, so moving on to the next sign. Number 5. He never wants to leave the talking stage. Now this is a big one. You might have somebody come to you, you've been talking to this person, and they might actually come to you and say straight to your face, look you dead in the eye, I don't want to string you along. Would you like to continue this friendship? I'm not, I like you, but I'm not ready for a relationship now, or I'm never going to be ready for a relationship. But then, of course, they do everything opposite of what they just said, because that way they can say that, I told them, but then they do everything opposite. Watch out for that. If they come up to you and they tell you that they don't want to string you along, that's exactly what they're going to do. I've actually was telling my brother this. If you've noticed, and pay attention to this in your life and across the board, when someone says they are not going to do something, I'm not doing this, or I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, I'm not trying to say that, I'm not being rude. If they say that before they say something, that's exactly what's about to happen. That's exactly what they're going to do. Almost 85% of the time. Because now it's like when I notice that and I hear somebody say they're not doing something, that's exactly what they're going to do. So pay attention to that. If they say that they're not going to do something, that's probably what they're going to do. Don't let them. Learn the red flags. Learn the signs. That way it won't happen again. You won't be kissing all these frogs that you think are princes. Princes. You won't kiss a frog that you think is a prince, because they're not princes. Is that a word? Okay, well, hold on. And the reason he might not be wanting to leave the talking stage, or even keeping you around, and maybe he's getting some kind of benefit. Of course, this could be intimacy. Maybe it's emotional. Maybe it's money. Money is a big thing. People will do all kinds of things for money. And I'm sure you know that by now. Just look at the things people will do for money. They will throw their self-respect out the window. They'll throw their happiness out the window, because they think money makes you happy. And, it might make life a little bit easier, but it's not the root of happiness. So maybe it's not money he's keeping you around for. Maybe, let's say, you have some kind of knowledge, or maybe you have some great business ideas and they want you to help them along. Maybe you have some knowledge. Let's say cryptocurrency. Maybe you know something about crypto that they don't, and they're wanting to invest. Maybe they have another prospect or another woman that they want to help invest, and or maybe he's just trying to impress somebody else by learning something, and maybe that's why he's keeping you around. I mean, it could be anything really, but you want to pay attention to these signs. I mean, you might be feeling like you're in love and this man's just using you and just doing all kinds of things behind the scenes, and you're thinking it's a whole nother world. But once you confront them or you ask them, can we move this forward, and you have all of these little things going on, it's a big sign that he's a player. Definitely. Just see the sign and run. Put the shoes on and go right out that front door. I mean, do whatever you need to do. But especially if the women he's talking about are elderly and they have a lot of money and he's spending the night with them, or he's talking about them all the time, he's not talking to you about anything, run out that, just run. That's all I can say, because it'll save you so much heartache. Or it could, I mean, other people have different attachment styles. Some people have no hearts and it doesn't really matter what other people do. But some people, it can really affect them on how they are treated with the people that they're talking to, or dating, or any kind of relationship that they're in. Also, during this talking stage, they might try to win you over by sending you naked pictures. Maybe, maybe you really like the guy. I mean, you're just head over heels for him, and he sends you a picture and you think, oh, he really likes me. Do not confuse that kind of attention with love or attraction or anything, because you're probably, truth be known, you're probably on a mass mailing list. I mean, those pictures have probably been all over the state, all over the country, in the world we live in now, who knows? But do not confuse, naked pictures or, sexy talk with any kind of love, affection, or of attraction. That's something that can happen very easily. But do not confuse it, and pay attention to the signs, because that's probably a good sign that he's a player. I think that's it's a little inappropriate, especially when you just meet somebody and they're sending you naked pictures, or they start talking, like that. It sounds like they only have one thing on their mind. You need to watch out for that, because that's something very famous that a player does. So it's a major trait of a player. So watch out for that. Okay, number 6, he never takes you anywhere. And this kind of goes along with number 4, but he never takes you anywhere. He never takes you out. You've never been on a real date. You've never met his family. You haven't met his friends. He doesn't take you anywhere. He may not take you anywhere at all, but he might take you somewhere if he has a friend tagging along. And if that friend's a woman, it's highly likely that he is a player. Like, let's say you're hanging out with your guy, and you're supposed to have dinner and do different things. I mean, he'll talk about taking you out, but he never does. He'll change plans at the last minute maybe, and let's bring so-and-so. No, I don't want so-and-so there, but he still brings her. So it's highly likely something strange is going on there, and that they are a player, big time. If he hasn't told you, you've been talking for a few years or a few months, or even, a few weeks, like I would say probably a few months, and he hasn't told, his family, or you haven't met anybody. I mean, not anybody, not even like a friend that he talks about all the time, that's highly likely that he's a player as well. Now, it's important to remember that the kind of guys I'm talking about here, these guys play it for entertainment. They play this game for entertainment. Or some of them do it to make a living, or it's just the way they live, woman to woman, or maybe, they don't work and they get supplemented from this woman or that woman, especially if they're older women around him, especially if all of his older, all of his women friends are older and they have money, and he's constantly with them, or there's at their house, or he's talking about how, he took them out but he hasn't taken you out, I mean, that's highly likely that he is a player, because they're very slick. They're very, like I said earlier, they're like shapeshifters. They can make you feel like you're crazy and that what you're seeing, just the way I go by it now, the first time I feel like something's off or something, just keep going. I mean, and if it's not, it'll work itself out. Like if I'm wrong about it, it'll work itself out. But if you're right, you won't ever hear anything again from the guy. If you stand up and you put your foot down, or you say, hey, what's going on here? They'll just disappear. They'll ghost again. And then you'll get naked pictures, or maybe you won't hear from them at all anymore. Maybe they're like, oh, she's on to me, and that's it. But pay attention to the signs. It can save you a lot of heartache. Okay, so we are on number 7. He lies. Now, this is a big red flag. It's so big, it's just waving. It's just a waving. He lies. Okay, even if it's little things, it could be dumb things, But once, not just a player, anybody, when you see a person lying, okay, now here it is. We're human beings, and everybody lies. And if they say they're not, they're lying. We all lie about something. It may be a white lie. It may be a big lie. We all lie. But players, deception is their game. They play it really well, and they don't see anything wrong with lying. They can probably consider it something else. I don't know what they consider it, but they're very good at it. And they will lie all day. So pay attention to that. If you see him lying at all, let's say he's talking to the neighbor and he lies to the neighbor, or maybe he'll even try to get you to lie about something. Hey, we're going to see so-and-so later today. Why don't you tell her, again, her, like if it's a friend, why don't you tell her da-da-da-da? Well, don't do it. That is a big red flag, and he's trying to hide something, or maybe he's trying to hide you or his relationship with you or whatever it is he has going on with you. And if he is lying, that's a major sign that he is a player. Major. That is major. I even had a guy one time try to teach me how to lie the honest way. The honest way. Like, oh, you can lie. It's not really lying if you do it this way. Now, like I said, we all lie, but there is no right way to lie. And that is a major red flag. And even in friendships, anything. If you see somebody lying, if they're going to lie about somebody to somebody, they're going to lie to you. And they're going to lie to you just like they lied to them. So pay attention. If they're lying with you to somebody, they are lying to you about something. Almost always, almost guaranteed. And like I said, you need a private investigator to figure that out. But even the fact that you would have to worry about it, or even have to try to figure, oh, are they lying, or what are they doing, or what's going on, Get out of there. Put your shoes on. Run right out that front door. Keep running. Just run. Grab your purse, grab your phone, and just keep running. And you figure it out down the street. Get out of there. Don't look back. Because liars is a major trait of a player, and a player is like a snake. You're just ready to get bit. Because if you have a player on your hands, it's not if, it's when. I guarantee you, it's when. And you might just be crying, and you just might have heartache, and he'll be laughing about it, because that's the kind of thing they do. That's for sport. They got you. They got you. And they laugh about that kind of thing. So watch out for that. If he lies, put it on your radar. And I would just stop talking to him completely, especially to the younger women that may be watching this. Life, a man doesn't change. I mean, in my experience, when I've seen people change, it's been something that it has to be a major life change. Like maybe they were in an accident and their view on life has changed. Maybe they had a substance abuse problem and they quit using. So of course that would change the person. But other than that, like I said before, a leopard does not change its spots. It's going to lie about somebody or lie about situations, he's going to lie to you and you're going to be hurt. So watch out for that. All right, number 8, he doesn't care to know you. He doesn't want to get to know you. He doesn't ask, what kind of movies you like, or maybe he doesn't ask what kind of music that you listen to. Maybe he doesn't ask about your childhood, your family, your dreams, anything. He doesn't ask you anything. Or if you bring up something that's going on or that happened in your past, he has no interest. He doesn't. He might change the subject, or he's not listening, or he's just, you can tell when somebody is paying attention, but he just doesn't care. He doesn't have any interest in you. And that's a big sign of a player, major. And if you're looking at this person thinking that he's going to be a prospect, you want to pay attention to that, because it's important. Where you came from is very important. Even if you're very different from where you came from, it's still important, because that's what made you today. And your family and your friends is important. Those things are important to you, so they should be important to the person that you're looking at to see if you're going to spend more time with them in the future. So if he has no interest in you, pay attention. He's highly likely that he's a player, or maybe he's just not into you. It could be that too, or it could be both. But it's definitely a sign of a player, that's for sure. So if the only thing he does is ask you what you do for a living, or how much money you have, or what you do with your money, anything money related, then it's definitely a high sign that he's a player, or he's looking, those are the benefits, those are the assets that he's looking for in a relationship. And if it's all about money, of course, money makes everything better and it's a lot easier and to get along. But if those are the only things he's asking about, is how fat your wallet is and how you refill the wallet, or how big your purse is, something's going on there, and that's a sign of a player. Because unfortunately, this is such a major thing in our world that people are making videos. I'm definitely not the first one. But like I was saying earlier, I'm doing this to help myself and hopefully to help others as well. So it's easy to forget all these signs as well. You might know all this stuff, but as soon as he calls or as soon as he texts, you might drop it off, your knowledge on the wayside. But don't do that, because unless there's some major changes going on, you've got a player on your hands. And beat him. Get out of there before he does any more damage, or does any damage. So just get those shoes and run. Keep the shoes. When you first meet somebody, always keep the shoes near the front door. That way you can book it. Signs of a player. All right, moving right along. Number 9. He never compliments you. He never ever compliments you unless it's, oh, you're hot. Oh, you're sexy. It's never, oh, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're kind, all the things that, that you want to hear. It's always hot and sexy, and almost in a sexual way. He just cares about your body and not your mind. Doesn't care about anything else. That's a sign of a player. Definitely a sign of a player. And maybe those cheap compliments will come with like a request for nudes, or maybe he'll just send you some nudes and be like, oh, you're so hot, and send pictures of himself, and say, can I have a picture? No, don't send them. Don't do it. Don't fall for it unless you're into that kind of thing. But if you're looking for somebody that's not a player and you're just looking for something real, then don't do it. Those are signs of a player, and they are just very shallow. They're being shallow for a reason, because they don't plan to be around, and they're just trying to get some benefits from you, and that can be intimacy. And that's something you don't want. Pay attention to the signs, because he is probably a player if he never compliments you. Besides that, like, if you're looking for a relationship, or a serious relationship, or somebody that you just want to date casually, you need to be built up. You need compliments. You need somebody that's attracted to you, not somebody that's, you're always wondering, oh, I wonder if he thinks I'm beautiful. I wonder if he thinks I'm pretty, or I wonder what he really thinks about me. I mean, you might even straight up ask him and he still won't say anything. That's a sign of a player. I don't know why they do that, but they do. I don't know, like if there's a class I don't know about these guys. I don't know. It's just very strange to me. But it's like they all read the same book or something. Maybe there's a book out there, I don't know. But it is highly likely that he is a player if he never compliments you. So pay attention to this sign. Or you might end up down at the clinic. He might have brought you home something more than those sweet nothings he was whispering, which is hot and sexy. I'm not kidding. I mean, we live in a promiscuous society, and that's fine, if you want to do that. But these are signs, so remember them. Like, when, even if you really like a guy and you're seeing all these, step back and pay attention. Especially if there's I think if there's just one of them, it's highly likely that he's a player. But if there's 3 to 5, then it's quite likely. He might not even know that he's a player. I mean, you do have some players that, they're probably just hopping from girl to girl and they don't really care, But you've got some people that have some skills, man. They have some skills. And you can tell that, especially, when I was talking earlier, they don't discriminate, they don't have a certain type, they don't have a certain age, it doesn't matter, it's what you got. And maybe your body, and that's like the low end of the totem pole. It's all the other stuff. You need to have all of it for the, to catch that player. If you, and even then you'll never have him. So, just watch out. That way you can avoid some hurt in the future. So that was number 9. He never compliments you. Okay, so our last sign, number 10, he breadcrumbs you. All right, let's say you're on to this guy, right? You're like, okay, I'm on to him, and you just start backing off. Well, he doesn't care because he doesn't notice, because he has all these other women that he's dealing with. And one day he just wakes up and, oh, what happened to this? So you'll get the I miss you text. Or maybe you'll get the thinking about you. Or you're sexy. Or maybe he'll just send you random pictures, out of the blue. Naked pictures usually. Or sometimes you'll get a decent picture, and then maybe if you bite and you think, oh, he really does care, and then boom, he's gone, just like a ghost. There he goes. Or maybe you'll start talking for a week and you think, oh, he came back, he really does like me. Maybe there is something there, and then he just disappears again. Or he'll it's like he's putting the hook in you, and then you start thinking like you did. And then he starts telling you about other women again. Or maybe he might even be forthcoming at that point, if you're backing off, and tell you that he's seen another woman. He might try to make you jealous, because for some reason that works too on people. They might get jealous, and it makes them want to be around more. I don't know if that is a human nature thing, but it's definitely a player thing. And so if you're getting that just when you're almost over it and you don't think about them anymore, you'll get those texts. That's called breadcrumbing. And that, my friends, is a sign of a player. Breadcrumbing. Yeah, just little bitty morsels that keep you going. But you can't live on breadcrumbs. You can't. So sometimes they might give you a dinner, but then not a real dinner, though. They're not going to take you out to dinner, but they might give you a little bit more. Maybe they'll talk to you for hours, or give you a hint of, they just want you around. So, maybe their harem's getting low. Maybe, he lost a couple. Maybe a few of them went to a nursing home farther than he wanted to drive. I don't know. But breadcrumbing is definitely a sign of a player, that you have a player on your hands. just, like I said before, just start running, man. Don't wait for him to break out the lettuce from Aldi. Just get up and go. Don't look back. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get on up out of there. Because it's not going to get any better. If you have decided that the person you're talking to is a player, you need to get over it, because it's not going to get any better. And the trick, though, I found is, if you don't care, like if you care, get out, run. But if you really don't care about the person, you could maybe even have fun with it. But I don't, then that kind of puts you on their end, because then now you're playing them and you're playing the player. So if you're bored, go for it. But if you're looking for something real, stay away from the players. So that's number 10. Number 10, breadcrumbing. So those are my 10 signs of how to spot a player, 10 signs that he's a player. So I just want to say, if he's into you, you'll know it. If he wanted to, he would. And if he wants to talk to you, he will call. No matter how shy he is, no matter all the excuses that you may make up in your mind, and that is a very common thing to do, they will. If they really like you, they will do it. And if they don't, then, and let's say they do like you, on the off chance that you think, oh, they do, they're just this or they're that, or you have some kind of excuse on why they're not calling you, you deserve more than that. You deserve a man that is going to step up and call you. A man, a good man, he'll add to you. He won't drain you. Like if you're with a player, a good man will build you up. He'll bring things to your life. A player will drain you. He'll drain you dry. He'll drain you emotionally. He'll make you feel like you're crazy. I mean, you can lose years of your life on spending it on the wrong guy. And they can shatter your heart, and then they'll laugh about it. Like literally, the type of person that I'm talking about, that I'm calling a player, they will laugh about the things that they do to you. They think that's funny. I don't know why. I mean, it is really bizarre to me. I would never, personally, I would never get off, on hurting other people. But some of these guys, it was like, as soon as they hurt you, like I've said this before, they just think it's the greatest thing. They won, because it's a game to them. It's literally a game. And it's kind of like the cat and mouse game, like, have you ever seen a cat catch a mouse? Well, the cat's really happy after they just slap the mouse around. That's what these players are. Players is like the big mean tomcat, and they're just slapping you around, and you're the mouse. But don't be the mouse. Pay attention to the signs, and I'm just trying to help you out, help myself out, help the world out, share my story, my signs of a player. These are all signs of a player. They can help you in the future. And you can run far, far away if you see them. Run. Just see them and run. Emotionally or even physically. Oh, you got a player, just take off running. Call an Uber. Get out of there. That is a player with a rotation thicker than Grandma's Sunday gravy. That is a player you have on your hands. And he's not confused. He's consistent. He's consistently playing the hen house. He's in the hen house collecting all those eggs, and you're just happen to be one of his prospects, one of his victims, for lack for a better word. But yeah, just pay attention to these signs, because if that's him, you need to get out of there. If he's got more friends, female friends, than a church potluck, and he disappears on the weekends like a magician, if he's ghosting you, he's breadcrumbing you, spending the night with his best friends, taking selfies on her new bedroom furniture, baby, he is not confused. He's on tour. Episode of Player in the Hen House, Special Victims Unit. Part 1. That's what that is. And you're the main character You're the one that receives the wake-up call, because that's exactly what this is. You know the fox is in the hen house now, because you know all the signs now. You know 10 signs, and there's lots more, but definitely you have a few to look at, and you can look around and you can see if you've got a player on your hands. No more breadcrumbs, no more oldie lettuce, no more dinners cooked by other women. This is a sign to grab your self-respect, grab your purse, and run! Run, baby, run! Just run. Like I said earlier, figure it out when you get down the road. Just get out of there. You are too fine. You are way too wise and way too grown to be with somebody who thinks ghosting is a personality trait. I've already walked through that fire. I've already learned the hard way. You could take the evacuation route. Trust me. Get out of there and don't look back. If you like this content, please subscribe and stay tuned for more. Please like and subscribe. This is my second video in the series, Learning the Hard Way. And I have more coming up, more things that I've encountered in my life, some life lessons. Also, I have my regular videos, my travel channel, my travel videos. And I'm not sure what's coming up next, but stay tuned. We have a lot of things I've learned the hard way. So just maybe tune in so you won't have to. I've already been there and been there, done that, and moving right along. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I like to say tuning in, but thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.